This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Ewan McGregor stars as Count Alexander Rostov in A Gentleman in Moscow, the new limited series based on the best-selling novel. Stream it on March 29th with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Visit ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. And it is a joy for me to visit with Peter Emerson. We kind of met through a mutual friend not too long ago. And my friend Jeannie Williams said, you need to get in touch with this young man because he's got a fabulous show. It's a Christmas show. And it's just really kind of starting to take off. So he rules the world is what we want to talk about, Peter. But first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. What brought you to this point?
What brought me to this point is I've been a musician and I've been a Waco resident here for a long time, since about 2000. And so our paths have crossed a few times, just kind of on the periphery, and it's nice to be able to sit down and thank you so much for having me here. So start off with that. He Rules the World is a concert telling of the nativity story, and we get to hear from the perspective of the actual participants in the story. So you get to hear from Mary, you get to hear from Joseph, and the angel Gabriel, and Herod even. So we get to explore the human side of the story in a way that I don't think many people have seen before. And so it's a very unique project. It's high energy, family friendly. It's a rock concert, and it's appropriate for all ages, and we just love it, and we want as many people to see it as possible. So
this has premiered. It's already out there. It premiered couple of years ago in Austin, right?
We did the show at the Dell Performing Arts Center in Austin in 2022, and it was a success for us. It was kind of our proof of concept of let's see what we have and see what we can do with this. And so now we're moving forward, and we're really excited to be bringing it to Waco, and we're just really thrilled.
Okay, and so, looking ahead, it will be in December. Well, there will be several performances, right?
Yes, we are doing a run of the show here in Waco at the Hippodrome Theater, December 11th through 14th. Okay. And the current plan is that's Wednesday through Saturday, with shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and Saturday matinee and Saturday evening. And we want as many people to come out to see it as possible.
Well, now, what sort of sparked you to write this show is that there's, a currently kind of a cult following show at Christmas with lights and music and fast pace, and to tell them that story.
Absolutely. So I took my daughter to go see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra back in 2018. And it was fantastic. Lights and lasers and big guitar solos and just about everything that you could want. It was a visual spectacle. It sounded great. I was very impressed with it. I enjoyed everything that I saw with it. But as I was sitting there, I was thinking, man, that is really fantastic. It looks so much fun. And I'm thinking, well, I could do that. And the more stuff came through, and I was like, well, I can do that too. And then eventually at the end of the show, I was kind of frustrated with myself a little bit, and I was thinking, well, why am I not doing this? Yeah. And the biggest thing about Trans-Siberian that stuck out with me, even though I just love it and I would go back and see it again and again, is that their Christmas show really was about the spirit of Christmas and not really about the actual Christmas story. And so I set out to take my writing skills and my musical skills and put them to task in creating He Rules the World to actually tell the story of the birth of Christ.
And you've got some fabulous performers who are helping you out with this. Well, let's talk first about Kevin Sorbo and his connection to this. He's done your narration. Huh?
Yes. Well, Kevin is an executive producer on the project and has been really very gracious and wonderful. And we were connected to Kevin through our producer back in 2022 and showed him the project, and we're fortunate enough to get a Zoom meeting with him where we thought we were going to get maybe 10 minutes with him to talk about the project, and we ended up talking with him for over an hour. And at the end of it, he's like, well, this sounds great. I want to be a part of this. Let's do this. And so we got Kevin on board, and we flew to Florida and went to his house and recorded the narration for this. Mm-hmm. The narrated portions are in between the songs, and we use an animator out of London.
Right, there's animation in it.
So the animation is done by a group named Wonder Story, Adam Harding, and he does this animation for us, and it's fantastic, and it helps push the story forward. And then we hear from the performers themselves singing. So Kevin has been great, and we're really fortunate to have him on the project. And his values and our values kind of align in a lot of ways, and where it counts, and it's been really great. We have an all-star cast of performers. We've got fantastic local Texas musical talent in this.
Broadway quality.
We have Broadway caliber and experienced singers in the show. Our featured performer is a gentleman named David Gashin, who is born a Texan out in Lubbock and is now in the Fort Worth area, but he's most known for playing the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway and in Europe.
Wow.
Over 1,300 times.
Oh my goodness!
So he's our featured performer.
He's got some chops.
Yeah, he has some chops, and he's a great guy, and his values are very similar to ours.
Good.
Very strong Christian man that told me that he was really thinking and looking for and praying for a faith-based opportunity to use his talents.
Wow!
And we found him, and he found us, and we're just so blessed to have him.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it, so let's take a moment and see the trailer. You've got a wonderful sample of what this show is like, so let's take a look.
He Rules the World. Brought to you by executive producer and narrator Kevin Sorbo.
And he's betrothed to Mary, a young girl in Nazareth, the very girl God had chosen to be the mother of his son.
He Rules the World is a high-energy, rock and roll production of the greatest story ever told. And it's all inspired by the Christmas music you love.
On this silent night, this whole
Meet Mary and Joseph as they wrestle with God's calling. And featuring Broadway performer David Gashin.
I found a love that consumes me. Oh, Mary, what have you done?
From the prophecies of Isaiah to the family fleeing to Egypt to escape King Herod's plan, and their return to Nazareth after Herod's death. Witness God's master plan to reconcile us back to himself through the lives of two ordinary teenagers. This year, experience the true meaning of Christmas in this heartwarming and hope-giving production that the whole family will enjoy. He Rules the World.
Wow. So, I mean, you do have it all. You got the lasers, you've got the animation, you've got fabulous singers, and just a high energy show.
Yeah. One of the things that I really wanted to put in the show was just that sense of, hey, this is high energy. There's great music in here, and the music borrows heavily on existing themes.
Yeah, some familiar
very
themes.
Very familiar themes. So if you think of it, the hymns at Christmas are like stained glass windows. each one tells a slight portion of the story.
Right,
So if you go to church on Christmas Eve, you might get, 3 or 4 Christmas hymns that you're going to sing at that particular service? That's not even really telling the whole story. And so each one of these hymns, for instance, Silent Night is about the actual night. Away in the Manger is about being in the manger and the birth of Christ. Joy to the World is after the fact, when it's already happened and you're spreading the news. And then there's the darker side of it, the Coventry Carol, which is a carol that a lot of people probably aren't as familiar with.
But it's lovely. It's
so beautiful. It is such a hauntingly beautiful melody. That tells the slaughter of the innocents.
Yeah.
And so that's as much a part of the story as the birth is. And so I use each one of these hymns as a launching point in their respective parts of the story where they're originally intended to be used. And those launching points go into new material that are sung first person from Mary and Joseph and the angel Gabriel and Herod. Herod sings.
Yeah, he played a role in the story. That's
absolutely.
For sure. Ask you a little bit about your background. You're a composer, arranger, jazz educator. How did all that influence your writing of He Rules the World?
It really just gave me the tools to do it. The inspiration just hit me. It absolutely just hit me, and I just said,
I could do that. I could do that.
Well, not just that I could do that, but that I should do it.
I should do that.
I should do it.
Right.
And I really felt a calling to do that. So yes, my background is in jazz studies as a pianist and a singer and as a composer. I went to Berklee College of Music.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was a pianist in the United States Marine Band. I was fortunate enough to work in Los Angeles for a while. I recorded a jazz CD there called It's UIC. And then ended up coming to Texas. Went back to school at Baylor, Sikkim Bears.
That's right.
And got a classical degree in composition
Did
from
you really?
Baylor.
Okay.
And then I ended up going up to North Texas and doing a master's degree in jazz studies and arranging up there.
Top flight. Both schools, their music departments. Yeah.
So I've been around a little bit, and I've been used to using my skills to support other people's projects, and this is really my first venture to really go out there and support something that is mine, and really now it's just ours, and I just really view the project as being a ministry more than anything else because of the message and because of the need for it, and we've got a wonderful crew surrounding us, a wonderful cast. And
so about how many people total are part of a show?
Yeah, so it's myself and my wife, Jennifer, and she is our executive producer. I couldn't have done the show without her.
Really?
I showed her the demo of the show after I got done writing it, and she said, well, we have to do this. And I said, that's easier said than done. And she said, no, really, we have to do this. And she really has made that happen, and it's been a godsend. And so, and she is still working on the show. She's at home working on the show right now.
Really? As we speak.
Drafting contracts, and she's a lawyer as well, so that's been having in-house counsel is very important.
No kidding. Yeah, that's right.
Literally in-house counsel, and she's been just fantastic and helping draft the contracts with the performers and the designers and all of that. So the core of the group is we perform with 10 people on stage. So it's not a huge cast.
It's not a huge cast, no.
5 musicians and 5 additional singers out front that are singing from the perspective of the participants.
Right.
But then we have people like Matt Chauncey is our video director and stage director, and he's...
because you've got a lot of technology in the mix.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And then we have people designing the light show for us and implementing that, and so it really depends on the day of the week how many people are involved with this. But the core is myself and Jen, and then we have a dozen or more people around us that are helping with this as well. And of course, we're working with a marketing agency, 130A out of.
They're awesome. interaction with them has been wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll
been
do a good job for you.
Very, very good. They just had us in Nashville.
Yeah, tell me about that. You got to go to the National Religious Broadcasters Convention. That's a big deal.
Was something. That was a whirlwind. And we put that together really pretty quickly. They floated the idea to us in January.
Yeah, not long ago. That's when we first started kind of talking, yeah.
And they said, this is kind of a crazy idea, but can we get you guys prepared to go to Nashville for some press interviews? And we're like, maybe? And we pulled it off, and it was really, really great. So we were there for one full day and a half a day on either side of that full day, and we ended up doing 14 press interviews while we were there, and then came back the following week and did an interview with Fox News Online, and now we're fortunate enough to be here with you, and this is
I'm honored
fantastic.
The company you've been keeping, yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, this is it's an exciting project, and it's really exciting to see something kind of at its infancy. But you have visions of this, really taking off and becoming something, that's a standard, that's a staple for Christmas.
Absolutely. We want to get this in front of as many people as possible, as I've said many times. And in fact, people can go and listen to the show right now if they want. They can go to our website, herulestheworld.com. And once again, the show is He Rules the World, and the website is herulestheworld.com. They can listen to the show in its completion on Spotify or Apple Music, Pandora, any of the major streaming platforms, just searching for He Rules the World. We're on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at He Rules the World Show, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at He Rules Show. So
He Rules Show, yeah.
So we're out there, and we encourage people to take a listen, and we sure hope that the Waco community comes out for us in December and sees the show.
What are we doing here, Rusty? What are we going to do?
Yep, we're doing the King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast.
King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. Yeah, so we're going to go through one episode at a time. Come along for the ride with us.
Come check it out.
And give me a good like Dale Gribble quote to go out on. Wingo.
Yeah, Wingo.
Wingo. All right. Well, join us for the King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast.
Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure, for sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those too also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm an alcoholic. Here's the deal. Everybody knows somebody that has suffered from the disease of addiction. I want to invite you to listen to Purpose-Driven Sobriety, where we have real conversations with real people that have suffered from the disease of addiction and have gone on to thrive. Here, we shine light into the darkness that is addiction. You can find Purpose-Driven Sobriety on Facebook or anywhere you get your podcasts.
Want to ask you a few more questions. what qualities do you seek out from your cast and executive members of He Rules the World? I mean, you mentioned that several of them have, really strong faith-based values, as you do as well.
Yeah.
Is that kind of a requirement, or it's just the Lord has brought you people that
the Lord has definitely brought us people. It's been an easy process, and we basically just tell people who we are and what the show is, and if they're the type of person that wants to be a part of that, that's going to really come through to us. Now that is important to us, but we haven't really had to there's no litmus test.
No,
per se,
of course,
or anything like that.
Right.
But we have tended to attract people that are like-minded, and and God has put those people in our path. That's all I can say. That we've been really blessed for that.
And for talented people who do have a heart for the kingdom and its values, to have an opportunity to work with you on this project has got to be exciting and fulfilling for them.
I hope so. I think so. It's fulfilling for me, and I love performing in the show myself, and for future plans, we want the show to have a life. So we want to be able to do the show in 2025, and eventually, much like Trans-Siberian Orchestra does, they have 2 units crisscrossing the country at the same time.
Right, have multiple casts. And
so we're at the Hippodrome this year with the potential of about 800 seats per show.
Per show.
Next year, we wouldn't mind being somewhere maybe 2,500 to 4,000 seats. And then the year after that, maybe half of an arena. We'll take 7,000 to 10,000 seats, or perhaps go someplace like Branson or Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and install it in a theater there.
Oh, and have it be like a regular show.
Have it be in residency for 6 or 8 weeks.
Sure, yeah.
And that would be great too. So we're really willing to go where the show goes.
I can see that in Branson for sure.
Yeah. We have always thought about this as a potential streaming product as well. So we did a 10-camera shoot of the 2022 performance, and we'll do some video of this as well. But the idea is out there, maybe in a few years we do a screenplay and a live-action version of it as well. So who knows? We're just going to go wherever the project takes us, wherever God leads us in this, and that's really what it is.
Keep your mind and your heart open to what might be happening with that. Do you have a favorite song that you've written? I know it's like pick your favorite child, but
that's a difficult one. But I would have to say that I'm a little surprised at the emotional connection that I found that I had with Joseph in the story.
Really?
And one of my favorite Christmas hymns is O Come, O Come, Emmanuel. And so I used that song in particular to explore Joseph's reaction to finding out that Mary is pregnant.
Right.
And so Joseph goes through a transition in that particular song from finding out that Mary is pregnant, knowing that it's not his. And this all happened before he would have been visited by the angel in the dream. So he hasn't been told about the plan at all.
Yeah.
And
this is just bad news.
This is just crazy talk from this woman that cheated on him.
Right.
And that's got to be horrendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous. He goes through this emotional transition of finding out and then hearing about this impossible vision that he eventually comes around and at the end of the song says, okay, I will raise this child as my own with Mary as my wife. Yeah. And I just get choked up because, I'm a father myself.
Yeah.
And so there's that connection with raising kids and wanting to be the protector and all of that. But the Joseph story, man, that would have been hard news to hear.
I don't think a lot of people really stop and think about what kind of emotions he was going through.
And being a faithful person and wanting to do the right thing, thinking, well, I'm going to quietly divorce her so that at least it minimizes the shame of everything and all of that, to going, okay, this is God's plan and I'm all in. Yeah. And that's huge.
It really is.
It is huge.
It really is. Well, you mentioned your daughter. Tell me about your family.
Well, I have a daughter that's in college, and she's out at the University of Hawaii studying marine biology.
I was going to say.
And she's out there playing with sharks.
Oh, my.
And
now,
she's
what piqued her interest in marine biology?
Well, we supported her very, very early on. We took her to SeaWorld, and she said...
she was just always curious.
She said
about
she wanted
that.
to be a dolphin trainer, and we were like, well, that's really marine science. And then that kind of stuck, and it stayed from like 3 years old till now. And so now she works for a shark lab and literally goes out and plays with sharks and does shark research, and she's getting ready to go to grad school after this next school year. And
Is
and
it there in
continue.
Hawaii? Stay there or go somewhere?
She doesn't know yet.
Okay.
She doesn't know yet. And we have a 9-year-old at home.
Pretty big span.
And she is a handful, and she's very, very creative and just yes.
I'm sure He Rules the World has played a major role in her life. What's her reaction?
Oh, she
to
sings
everything Mom and Dad have been
sings
doing.
every song in the car.
I'll bet.
And it's like her favorite thing. She always asks, "Can we put the show on?" And there it is.
Well, and as you say, I mean, it is a full family show. It's, you can call it a kind of a rock opera Christmas tale, but it is very, very family friendly. It's something that everybody will be singing along, and
it's the young kids are gonna come away saying, "Hey, this was really cool. Look at all the spectacle of it," the adults are gonna say, "Wow." I can hear all of these Christmas themes in there. There's a lot of familiarity, and there's something for everyone, and there's no surprises on. It's so hard to find appropriate content for families to go to, where you have to worry about, do I have to really pay attention to what they're going to say, and if they start saying it, do I have to whisk my child out the door to?
That's right.
And there's none of that with this. It is just strictly just the source material is the source material, and that's the Bible.
Well, Peter, I'd love to end these little chats with a questionnaire. It's similar to the one the late, great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actor Studio.
Nice.
It's my little take on it. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Oh, gosh. I don't know if I have a favorite word, but I have a favorite phrase, and it is, "Do you want to?" And the answer is always yes.
Okay.
So when Jen just comes to me and says, "Hey, do you want to?" I'm like, "Yes."
You already know the answer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. What is your least favorite word or phrase, I guess?
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just
maybe is non-committal, and it usually means no.
Okay, that's true. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Gosh.
I mean, I know Trans-Siberian
so
turned you on big time, but...
Yeah, it did. I'm a process person, so I love the process of the project as much as the result of the project. So I just love being in the thick of it and just being in the creative process. I kind of view myself as a creative MacGyver type. So if you give me a box with a pencil and a couple of marbles and some duct tape, and I'll hand you back a show.
Okay.
So I think that I would say just the process is really what I get excited about. And anything that can attach emotion to a story arc. I can say I love the transition that a character will make. I love the differences in dynamics from softs to louds and from consonance to dissonance and the interplay between light and dark and all of that. And so if I can take any of that and apply that into music or really anything in the creative space. I just happen to use music for it.
Yeah, music's your thing. What turns you off then, creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
People that that don't seem to have any creative vision, people that are kind of locked in their ways and say, well, it's never been done like this before, so therefore it shouldn't be done any different way, or it has,
right.
or that kind of turns me off. There are a lot of people that that are afraid to step out. And on the spiritual side, and this has been very much a spiritual awakening for me as well. I mean, this whole process of going through this and doing the research has brought me closer to God and really awakened me spiritually, and I really hope that it does the same for other people. So I see a lot of people very afraid to express that, and I'm becoming less so, and I think that that's a really good thing.
Yeah, well, He Rules the World is a good start, good step in that direction. What sound do you love the most? I mean, you're a musician. I always love asking that of musicians. Sometimes I'm told silence, but anyway.
No, what sound do I love the most? Gosh, that's a fascinating question as well. I love the sound of a good decrescendo. Mm-hmm. Just something that just has this perfect little trailing off of, and once again, it's contrast. Yeah. So it's the sound of contrast, I guess.
Okay. What sound do you hate?
Sound do I hate? Whining.
Okay. That's right. No whining here. What other profession would you have liked to try?
I am fascinated with, I love what my daughter's doing out in Hawaii.
Oh, I know.
I could do marine biology. I think that would
you
be.
You could play with sharks,
fantastic.
Too.
I would love playing with sharks. I don't know if I'd be very good at the biology part of it, but the playing with sharks part, yeah, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really interested in like geology and fossils as well. And so there's some great spots around Waco to go out fossil hunting.
No kidding.
And
there are.
I've pulled up ammonite specimens that are about 75 pounds.
Really?
Huge.
Where did you find those? Here?
The Middle Bosque River.
Really?
There's a spot out towards Crawford that I had been going to for years, and I take some geology pics out there and go out there, and I kind of know what to look for. And a friend of mine who has since passed, Terry, he was a geologist, and he took me out there the first time and said, look, this is what we're looking for. And it's just so peaceful to be out there in nature.
Right.
And,
well, it's between marine biology and geology. I mean, the natural world.
The natural world.
You really seem to enjoy that. Well, what profession do you know you would not like to do? No, thank you.
Anything with numbers. I'm not a numbers guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you need that with a show as elaborate as you have.
Absolutely. So. And I'm very happy that Jen is both a lawyer and a CPA.
Yeah.
So she's got that covered for me. Thank you, Lord.
Amen. I mean, he had everything planned just for this moment. I mean, he
Truly.
got all the people in place,
Absolutely did.
And the opportunity. So my last question is, what do you want to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Wow. Welcome. That's all I need.
Yeah. Well, you are certainly going to be setting the table for folks this coming Christmas with He Rules the World. It will be at the Hippodrome. Again, the
11th through the 14th.
11th through the 14th. And folks can become more familiar with this show. Tell them again your website.
We are at www.herulestheworld.com, and we're on social media at Facebook and Instagram at He Rules the World Show, and on Twitter at He Rules Show. But you can also listen to the entirety of the show on all major streaming platforms, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, iTunes, and such, by searching for He Rules the World.
Well, it's going to be great, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I know you're going to be seeing a lot more about this show in coming days and months. And the way time flies, it'll be Christmas tomorrow. I mean, everything just goes so fast.
It will.
But it's going to be an exciting time for you all. Peter Emerson, thank you so much for being with us. And thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.